light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing, light 'em up, go dumb, go stupid, yeah, we undefeated, sucker free, we got the seats heated, let's face it, you bout to get a beat down, less talking, let's take it to the streets now, ain't gonna be no rematch, why you wanna fight, touchdown on sight, yeah, turn off the light, oh, turn off the light, let's get it poppin', go dumb. When you see me moving, bodies dropping. Move some. I'm about to go sick. Call Earl. I'm turning up like E40, not your average girl. I'm turning up. We can rock like Rocky. Make you tap it. Ghost ride the whip. Look at my drip. This ain't a copy. We got a night if you wanna throw hands. When they see me fight, they wanna throw bands. Go dumb, go stupid. Yeah, we undefeated. Sucker free, we got the seats heated. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up.
It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for a special Thursday night tailgate talk edition of the Shoe Shine Sports. Unbelievable. I can't believe that the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, might tie the game in the fourth quarter. I can't believe the Broncos, who have been just an offensive powerhouse, have been limited to 10 points. But to be honest, the Las Vegas Raiders did incredibly well, losing that game last week by just a point. The tight end, Bowers, scored, 3 touchdowns? And what just happened? No good. Oh, my God. It wouldn't be the Raiders, man. Oh, shame. That really sucks, guys. They were about to tie this game. Salute to everybody joining me. I appreciate it. Big Spookies in the chat. Wiley Coyote, great to see you as always. Paul Martinez and 702 Man Cave. If you didn't get a chance earlier today, we tried to do a daytime stream. Shout out to my boy 702 Man Cave Vince. I went over to his crib, to the studio, and we tried to do a second episode. We got some big plans for his studio and whatnot. A different type of sports show where we do once a week all the big sports topics. And I apologize to everybody because I went there. I thought I tested everything. The little Rode microphones that I use, I updated the firmware. Worked great at home. I take him over there. One of them wouldn't even pair. So now I was down to one mic, and that one mic kept getting like interference, like radio frequency interference. It was a disaster, guys. I don't like to put out poor quality content for you guys. I want the absolute best. So work with me. I'm going to be doing the best we can to, as quickly as possible, get as much great podcasting equipment as I can over at Vince's place, man. But if you guys want to, check that show out for the first 10 minutes to see the concept we're trying to go for. The other thing that happened earlier today, so we went over there and we did the first stream, worked great, 720p. I broadcast in 1080p. I'm like, you know what? Vince's internet seemed pretty good. Then I kicked it up to 1080p, and I don't know why, but the show froze. It just got stuck on the show was looking great. Next thing I know, it was just stuck on me, and Vince's face is just frozen. So, but thank you to everybody. Shout out to Fonzie. Let me go over last week's winners. I know some of you guys are here already. Drew came in with 7 wins last week on his predictions. Darius, I don't know if he's here, but he got 9. He tied me and 702 Man Cave. Paul with some pretty good upsets, 5. And then Crypto Ryan Hippie, who was also playing, came in with a solid 8. And let's be honest, last week, week 9 of the NFL, we had some pretty serious upsets. Lions, Colts losing. Yeah, they didn't look like that undefeated powerhouse. The Colts lost. Chiefs, shout out to everybody who did not pick the Chiefs because the Bills did win at home, and the Packers all lost. Week 9. There was some really, really sad news. Shout out to GG Plays. Appreciate you. He's new in the chat. Do you think the Ravens can win? I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm going to jump that one real quick. I was very impressed with Lamar Jackson coming back last week, how he played after being away with that hamstring injury. I think they have a very solid chance of winning, but we're going to get to our picks very shortly. Stay tuned. For those of you that didn't hear, and for those of you that did, I wanted to touch upon this very quickly, but there was a very, very shocking and tragic news earlier today. Unbelievable. Just 24 years old, Dallas Cowboys defensive end player who scored a touchdown this past weekend. An accomplishment for any defensive end player to force a turnover like that and to score a touchdown. Second year playing for the Dallas Cowboys, I believe. Absolute tragedy, guys. Initially, the Dallas Cowboys did not report how he died, if it was natural causes or what had happened. And then the story started to emerge that he shot himself after a police chase. And I'm thinking, oh God, what did this NFL player do? Did he beat his wife? Was he running away from something? But no, not at all, guys. He had written a text message in a group thread to maybe some of his players, teammates, and they were deeply concerned because it said, the text indicated that he was feeling suicidal, and that he was having a major mental health crisis. And the team quickly called the local authorities, hoping they could do a welfare check on him, maybe to intervene and get him to the right place where he can get some help. And that led to a high-speed pursuit where eventually he parked the vehicle, ran on foot, and took his own life. And it's absolutely just devastating news. As far as I know, he lost his mother last year and had been dealing with some extreme depression issues. And like I said, he plays fantastic young football player with his whole world ahead of him. And unfortunately, guys, I often tell people that are close to me, I say, there's a lot of wealthy people in Las Vegas. And I came from somewhere where there was a lot of even wealthier people. I moved from Silicon Valley. I used to meet people that were really, really wealthy. And let me tell you, sometimes people that have wealth, money don't bring happiness, guys. Money can't buy you happiness. If you have issues going on in your life, money can bring you stability. Money might bring you a great place, a great roof over your head, can buy you some fancy toys, but it just doesn't bring you happiness, guys. And no matter what type of contract this young athlete had, there were some ongoing issues that he desperately needed some help. Today, I saw A.J. Brown had posted this. He walked into practice today. Check on your teammates. But you know what? I'm just going to extend this to everybody out there listening, man. Check on your friends. Don't feel... And I say this sincerely, guys. You guys can hit me up at my Instagram. If anybody needs somebody to talk to, maybe we don't talk on the regular. I know that this summer, some of you guys that are close to me know that we lost a good friend in the YouTube community to a very violent and sickening crime. And at that moment, that week, a lot of people not only reached out to me, but I reached out to a lot of people. And it's been quiet. It's been quiet ever since. And I know that a lot of people are still feeling pain from that and feeling pain from all types of stuff that go on in their personal life. And sometimes you just let that shit bottle up and then you explode. There's good people out there. There's good people out there that care. Don't be afraid to be one of those good people and lend a listening ear. For real. Mental health is a very serious issue. Hopefully my brother's not listening, guys, but I've said this to many people close to me. My brother suffers from mental health issues. He's diagnosed bipolar. Hopefully he's not listening. But I love you, bro. It's a very difficult disease. Battling with depression and bipolar, it makes it very difficult to live a normal life. But, with the help of friends and family, hopefully it never comes to this where I have a family member that does something like this football player. So rest in peace. Shout out to all the Dallas Cowboy fans. I know the Cowboys must be, the teammates must be devastated. Just a young soul. Marshawn Kneeland, rest in peace to him. Thank you to everybody that heard my rant. Drew Evo, where is my co-host? Philly Irish Drew Evo sent me a text. So he's going through some drama right now. It looks like something's going on. He said he'll be joining us. Hopefully he's going to join us. If not, I'm going to carry the show. We're going to get on to our football picks. We still got Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, 7-10. They nearly tied the game. Shout out to Primo Sergio in the building. I talked about this earlier today. Again, I wanted to congratulate all the baseball fans out there. Very difficult for any Bay Area sports fan to ever congratulate a Dodgers fan. We have a long-standing bitter rivalry all the way back to New York, Brooklyn, New York. Almost 100-year rivalry. And shout out to them for putting together the perfect team. You know, nine World Series wins now. San Francisco Giants 8, but most of the Dodgers World Series have been won since moving to LA. Which I can't say that for the SF Giants, but hopefully they're going to make some changes. They got Bochy, who had won three World Series rings. Buster Posey's getting them back. Speaking of the World Series, 51 million people watched Game 7. Unbelievable. Saturday night, Las Vegas, Halloween is popping. And 51 million people were watching. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of Los Angeles Dodger fans that were visiting Las Vegas were at every casino possible trying to watch this game. Everyone and their mama watched this game, and it went down to the wire. And that's all I could ask for as a fan of the sport of baseball is give me an exciting World Series. I don't want to see a blowout. Coming down to the wire, a battle of simply like two heavyweights back and forth, heavyweight champions going back and forth. Who is going to make the first mistake? And basically that's what it came down to. Who's going to make a mistake? Tremendous job by both teams. Unfortunately for Toronto Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero and the Canadian sports fans, they don't get that coveted World Series win, but they absolutely had a fantastic season. Speaking of Canadian baseball teams, guys, there is a new documentary out there on Netflix called Who Killed the Montreal Expos. I highly recommend it because we're going through that right now in Las Vegas, guys. They're telling us that the stadium is a done deal where the Tropicana Casino used to be. They've secured $300 million from Nevada taxpayers. That's right. The Montreal Expos, this was a time where the economy wasn't doing particularly good in Canada. They didn't have the public, their the governor there, the local officials said, it's a beautiful rendering. You got this beautiful stadium, but we're not going to ask the taxpayers to fund this stadium, while the Montreal Expos had gone from being a potentially great team to just basically being the Oakland Athletics, where we were in Oakland just a few years ago, where attendance was down to 7,000 people per game in a stadium that was crumbling, the Oakland Coliseum, a stadium I went to plenty of times as a kid. Fonzie says Fremont was infested with Dodgers fans. It was hard to find a spot to watch the game. One thing, Fonzie coming to Las Vegas is a transient city. A lot of people from Southern California have moved here. I would say there's more Dodger fans than any other baseball team here in Las Vegas. And I was talking with Vince. Again, guys, I had this podcast earlier today with Vince. Personally, I think it's going to be difficult for Las Vegas to adopt the Athletics as their team. The reason why the Golden Knights are such a big team here and have such a big fan base quickly is because they're an expansion team. And with that means you don't have people hating on it. It's your team. Just like the Las Vegas Raiders struggle. They struggle to have a fan base here in Las Vegas, which is shocking, right? There's a lot of LA Dodger fans. You would think, the Raiders don't have the biggest paying fan base. In fact, most of the games for Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium, the games are attended by outside fans, by fans coming to watch the rival team. If the stadium ever gets built for the Las Vegas Athletics, if it's a done deal, if the financing is going to go through, man, they should have seriously considered building a 30,000 seat stadium, 30,000 seats, even maybe smaller, because that shit is going to be empty. I just know it is. It's going to be hard to draw local fans. We have a nice minor league team, incidentally, owned by the Las Vegas Athletics, and who knows who's going to take that team. By the way, if you're interested in the Las Vegas Athletics, they are going to play spring ball here in Summerlin at the Las Vegas Athletics Stadium in March. I just found that out. 7-2 Man Cave, Raiders lost 7-10. He says he's giggling. Is that it? I'm behind. Damn, they could have tied this game. I feel bad for Las Vegas Raiders. They had a very close game last week, putting up tons of points. And for Denver, they looked very beatable. Only putting up 10 points against the defense of Las Vegas Raiders. Another tough loss for Las Vegas Raiders. They played pretty pretty damn good these past 2 games, but unfortunately, they take on another loss. For you baseball fans, this one's for 702 Man Cave. I totally forgot about this. But speaking of the World Series, guys, this was pretty funny to me. But somebody in Mexico, immediately after the Dodgers game Saturday night, somebody in Mexico decided, I'm naming my son Otani. Otani. There's already somebody, Jesus Otani Lomeli Serrano. Somebody named their son Otani immediately after the Dodgers won the World Series. Shout out to Isaiah Franco, new in the chat. I appreciate you. He says, go Packers, go. Packers are doing surprisingly well, even though they did not win last week. So I've got some boxing news, but I know I'll probably keep some boxing news to the end of this show. Unless you guys want to hear some now. There's a big fight weekend, just so you guys know. This weekend on DAZN, we have Virgil Ortiz. For the boxing fans, you have to have the app, or you got to have one of these Fire Stick devices to watch it. I recommend whatever you please. I don't judge. But Virgil Ortiz is definitely somebody to watch. Now, somebody from, Las Vegas, we have Top Rank Boxing in-house. This was breaking news today, guys. I'm very excited for this. I've been following Xander Zayas' career since day one. I went to his first professional fight in Reno, California. This, incidentally, to Vince, that's a fight that Francisco Esparza was at. He's a mutual friend of ours. That was his fight. I was there to watch him and Andy El Tiburon Vences. Andy El Tiburon Vences from San Jose. And there was Xander Zayas having his first professional fight. Now he is a world champion. He is the 154-pound WBO champion. And he has announced who he is going to fight in January. He's fighting the not WBA. Who's this champion? Is it the full WBA champion? Baru. Okay. He just won this belt because it was vacated by Terrence Crawford. He just got this vacant belt. He's going for a unification. Meanwhile, Virgil Ortiz doesn't have any titles. He's going for the WBC interim title. Interim title, guys, I hate to say it, but it's like saying it's a backup title, a secondary title. It's basically you get an opportunity to fight the main champion eventually, or if the main champion moves up in weight, sometimes they just tell you, hey, you're now the champ. So anyways, this is big news for Zayas. This weekend, if Virgil Ortiz wins, we could potentially have some fantastic matchups. He could be an opponent to anybody, guys. But shout out to Zayas, 23 years old, already going to become potentially a unified, 154-pound champion. Meanwhile, the other guys who were very good in the division, Boots, Ennis, and Virgil Ortiz, get to become world champions. So we will see. This one's for Fonzie in the chat. This is now official. A mega fight is coming to Phoenix, Arizona. Super featherweight title unification against unifications. Navarrete, El Vaquero, wears a cowboy hat all the time. Nunez, Matchroom Boxing's slugger at 130 pounds. These two Mexican power punchers are going to fight. This is the type of Mexican fights that all fight fans that are Mexican descendancy love to see. Let's see two badass Mexicans go at it toe-to-toe, Mexican style, just like the great fights of yesterday. Barrera, Morales, Vasquez, Marquez, all those type of fights. This is going to be it. Man, I would not mind going to Phoenix to see this fight. I have never been to Phoenix. If you live in the Phoenix area, if you're a fan of the Bird Gang, shout out to you. This is something that I would be interested in going to see. I don't know if my co-host Drew is going to show up, guys. So here's the picks. The game just ended. Week 10 of the NFL is officially underway. You guys could follow along with me. If you want to put your picks up here, I will do that here for week 10. I did say something a couple weeks ago. Look, if you beat me and you want a prize, I will do what I can to provide a prize. I don't know, it may be something as small as an Amazon gift card. It's usually if you beat me and Drew, but Drew is not here. Now, he may come back in a little bit and put his picks in here, but if you're going to put your picks, I'm going to write them down. I'm going to have my wife is my producer. She's also keeping score. We'll note down your predictions. You can follow along with me at DraftKings.com. So let me get my DraftKings going on here. For week 10 of the NFL, 49ers are in for it. Oh my God, the 49ers have a very tough game, guys. Let me get to my picks again. All right, game. Sunday, November 9th. International game. This one is going to be very early. 6:30 a.m. Most of you guys will not be watching this game. This is international. Atlanta versus the red-hot Indianapolis Colts, who lost last week. Again, make sure to put your picks in here. Falcons versus the Colts. And I did not pre-do my sheet here. But let's go here. Indianapolis Colts are definitely not going to lose again. They are a favorite. Their spread is negative 6.5 points. They are a negative 3.05 money line favorite. Personally, I think the Falcons, the 49ers played them this year. They have had an absolute awful season ever since that Niners game. I'm going to go, thank you. I appreciate it, Fonzie. We'll make sure to write that down. But I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts, and that's a straight money line bet for me. Fonzie says Colts. Okay, so moving on. Buffalo Bills, fantastic game. Fantastic game. Okay. I got Paul. Paul always loves to play some upsets here. Paul with the Falcons and 702 Man Cave with the Colts. Kansas City Chiefs played against the Buffalo Bills in the Buffalo Bills' backyards. For a while, starting to think the Chiefs started off with they started off playing very poorly at the beginning of the season, and then midway through the season, now we're halfway through, you start to notice, this is a team that can make a run in the second half, but the Chiefs weren't able to get past the Buffalo Bills at home. Buffalo Bills have got it very easy this week. Earlier today, somebody was talking to me in the chat, shout out to you, about Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua, who appears to be suffering from a lot of concussion type injuries, very dangerous stuff. Steve Young, great 49er quarterback, retired. He recognized that these concussions had amounted to some, a lot of demise to his health. Is Tua at that point? His season is absolutely atrocious. They lost Tyreek Hill. His weapons just aren't there. They are plus 360 underdog to the Buffalo Bills. There's just no way. There's no way the Bills could lose. 702 Man Cave's got the Bills. Anybody else got the Bills? Anybody going with the upset on this one, guys? Again, Buffalo Bills versus Dolphins. Anybody for the Dolphins, let me know. It's a lot slower without Drew here, guys. Bo Nix improves. I'm watching that at the same time. We got Paul also with the Bills this time. Nobody's got any faith in the the poor franchise of the Miami Dolphins right now at the moment. Also coming up at 10 a.m., Baltimore Ravens. Shout out to the Ravens fans in the chat. Appreciate you guys here. Vikings impressed me last week. Vikings are starting to play a little bit better, and my wife is a big fan of their receiver, Jefferson. Lamar Jackson trying to get his team back into 500. Lamar Jackson looked pretty good. Ravens are the favorite here. Ravens are the favorite. All right, I got Fonzie also for the Bills. So Ravens versus the Vikings, guys. Vikings. Anybody got the Vikings? I'm actually picking the Vikings this week. As much as I think the Ravens looked pretty good, but the Vikings are the underdog, plus 185. Anybody picking them? Or are we going with the Ravens? Shout out to Roger. He's new in the chat. I appreciate you. He says Dolphins. But we're on the Ravens game. Ravens, we got Paul. We got 702 Man Cave. That might be the one I regret. We got Fonzie with the Ravens. All right. Shout out to Roger. He says the Dolphins. He thinks the Dolphins could do it this weekend. Moving on to the New England Patriots. He's shockingly good. Second year for their quarterback. New England Patriots. Let's just look at it. This is a game probably in the early morning Sunday that is the most competitive game. New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is going to be a hard game to call. This is definitely a game I'm going to watch in the morning. Plus 124 underdogs for May. New England Patriots against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers did a number on the 49ers, guys. This is anybody. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers on this one. This is going to be the most competitive game. I could get this one wrong very easily as well. Both of these teams playing fantastic football at the moment. Paul says he can't bring himself to pick the Vikings. So we're doing Buccaneers versus Patriots right now. Paul's also got the Buccaneers. 702 Man Cave's got Buccaneers. Roger says 49ers. Hey, I appreciate that. We'll get to that game. NFC West, unbelievable division this year, guys. It's up for grabs if you ask me, but all of these teams have their strengths. And unfortunately, my team, the 49ers, have a lot of weaknesses. We're going to get to that. Again, Patriots. Anybody got the Patriots this weekend? Both of these teams playing fantastic. In fact, let me just see real quick. We got Travis. Shout out to Travis. He says Patriots. I'm not too fond of ESPN's power rankings because they're so different than even the NFL's power rankings. But New England Patriots, according to the NFL, they have their own power rankings. They're ranked number 11, but they are 7-2. Drake May, I think, is having the best season possible. They're ranked at number 11, right in front of the San Francisco 49ers. Personally, I think the Patriots should be ranked in the top 10. They shouldn't be outside of the top 10, but let me know what you guys think. Travis says Patriots. Yeah, that's the best game at 10 a.m. Coming up at 10 a.m. as well, the New York Giants. They lost that amazing running back the other day. Lost to the San Francisco 49ers without that weapon. Scatibo was looking like the young Christian McCaffrey, almost like. And in fact, that's a devastating injury, but their quarterback has a ton of potential. But Chicago Bears have been very impressive. And somehow the 49ers, we had to get rid of Jake Moody, the kicker, who's now with Chicago Bears. Maybe he doesn't like the 49ers, or he didn't like playing for us, or there was too much pressure. But he's doing an unbelievably better job as the kicker for the Chicago Bears. And the Bears are doing quite surprisingly well. New York Giants, they've had some tough, close losses. That quarterback has a ton of potential. I think it's going to be next year will be his year. Already, Man Cave has got the Giants. I'm going to go with the Bears on this one. But I would not be surprised if the Giants finally get an upset. They've come so close to beating some top teams. The Giants did beat. They did beat the Philadelphia Eagles. If they could have that type of confidence. In fact, Paul says he's got the Giants. It could just be a confidence issue. Fonzie, anybody else got the Bears? I think that'll be the last game we got one more game. We got two more games at 10 a.m. A whole slew of games. I'm way ahead of myself. Wow. 3 more games at 10 a.m. before we move on to the afternoon games. New Orleans Saints. Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. Two teams that I'm not particularly interested in. Plus 200 for the Saints underdog. Negative 245 for the money line for the Carolina Panthers. This is one of these games. Over is 39.5 points. I don't think so, man. I like this under 39.5. And I think the Saints, they've also played the 49ers. I think the Panthers are going to take this game. Saints are absolutely awful. I think, what do they got? One win? Fonzie's got the Panthers. Paul with the Saints, man. That's one of his epic upsets. Travis has the Panthers. 702 Man Cave with the Panthers. 2 more games to go, guys. Stay with me. Appreciate you chilling with me on Thursday night, picking some games. We have Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. Jets just gave up one of, everybody wanted defensive end players from the Jets. And shout out to Dallas Cowboys. They picked up Keenan Williams this week. And sadly, they lost, you heard the news this morning, they lost one of their bright young top players, 24-year-old Marshawn. Kneeland, losing him. That was very, very, very sad. Philly Yank says, you think the Panthers are covering 5.5? I do. I do think that. I would say that. But again, that's just my personal opinion, guys. Paul says they are due for a win. Shout out to Gazda 917. They put his picks all in there. I appreciate that. Browns for Fonzie. All right, let's get to that game. I didn't put that one yet. Who's already on that one? Cleveland Browns versus the Jets. They are favored by -130 on the money line, plus 110 underdog for the New York Jets. They just gave up a ton of their talent. This is easy money on that money line. Let's go with the Cleveland Browns for me. Paul with the upset for the Jets. 702 Man Cave has the Browns. Travis says tie. Why not? There's been a tie. There has been a tie this season. Cowboys got themselves in a tie. Fonzie also has the Browns. All right, moving on. Jacksonville Jaguars, Houston Texans. Unfortunately for CJ Stroud, I was checking on his status. He suffered a pretty good concussion this past weekend. Daniels, unfortunately for, the worst quarterback injury, obviously last week, you guys saw that was JD Daniels. Horrific injury. But CJ Stroud, I don't think he's going to be playing. He is a plus 102. The Texans are a plus 102 underdog. They have a very good win over my team, the San Francisco 49ers. The Jaguars have been consistent. -122 money line. Without CJ Stroud, who played a very good game against the 49ers, guys, they don't stand a chance. They just don't. I got the Jaguars on the money line on this one. I'm going to look here. Travis got the Jags. Paul picks the Texans. Fonzie also picks the Texans. And 702 Man Cave picks the Jags with me. Excuse me for hitting my mic. Shout out to my boy, Johnny Savage. Johnny Savage from LA, the only Jaguars fan from Los Angeles that I know of. I talked to him the other day, but he hasn't been in our chat. But shout out to Johnny. This brings us to, that's it. That's all the 10 a.m. games. This brings us to the 1 o'clock games. NFC West, I mentioned that the NFC West is a red-hot division. 3 teams tied with 6 wins, but the 49ers have that third loss, so they lost that first place ranking quite a while back. Arizona Cardinals. They've officially benched Kyler Murray. They've been doing all right with Bissett. Is that how I pronounce his name? Bissett. And there is talks about Kyler Murray, who has a very good contract with the Cardinals. This reminds me of Jimmy G, guys. The 49ers had this ridiculous contract with Jimmy G. Jimmy G, unfortunately, ended up being a bust for the 49ers. They had to relinquish his contract, let him go, pay him, and he ends up on the Raiders. But Kyler Murray, there is some rumors going around that he is actually considering going back to baseball. He was a high draft pick for the Las Vegas Athletics, Oakland Athletics at the time. Could Kyler Murray go the path of Tim Tebow? We talked about it earlier today. The only quarterback that I can recall to try to make an attempt back in baseball, Tim Tebow was not a high draft pick, but Kyler Murray was. if the Cardinals let him go, could he end up back trying to play baseball at 28 years old? It would be very interesting. It's been a very long time since we've seen a dual sport athlete. I, for one, would be rooting for the guy. I think he scrambles well. He's got a great arm, and he's quite athletic. Appreciate the chat. You guys are moving ahead of me really quickly. A lot of fans of the Seahawks in here. Well, it appears that way. We're not there yet, but the Seahawks are playing unbelievable football. No doubt about it. They may walk away with the NFC West this year. That being said, Arizona Cardinals, Seahawks. A lot of people are picking Seahawks. Seahawks, I believe, are on a three-game win streak. Only Paul has Arizona. I have the Seahawks. Fonzie, Travis, Duffy. Yeah. Seahawks are probably going to blow out the Cardinals, or they may not. All right, guys, I have my co-host here. We'll run by some of these games afterwards with Drew, but we'll pick up where we are. Drew, you all right? Everything good?
I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about it after the show. Shout out to my co-host, everybody, Philly Irish Drew Evo. If you don't mind picking up, Drew, you can send me your picks for the earlier games after the show. Right now we're on Arizona versus Seahawks. NFC West, Arizona at the bottom of the pick. Who do you got? You got a negative 325 for the Seahawks as the favorite.
I got the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense they get to the quarterback, the stingy. Sam Donald is doing great. I think, I'm really going to pick Seattle. I think Seattle's the second best team in the NFC.
I'm gonna presume you're gonna say they're the second best next to the Eagles.
Yes.
To your team. They are looking good, man. Sam Darnold. It's like Mac Jones. We were talking about the NFC West. Mac Jones is having an unbelievably good year for the San Francisco 49ers as a backup quarterback. And he's probably a short-term rental. He's going to be gone next year. He's going to be leading an NFL team as a starter next year. Like Sam Darnold, Vikings couldn't keep him. They had him for 1 year. He did take the Vikings to the playoffs, Drew. They go to the playoffs. You think they beat your team, the Eagles?
I don't think so. Here's the one weakness of that Seattle's defense.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it, you can open them up with play action. I think if you can have a good balanced running game against them, you can open it up with play action, and I think you got them.
I got you. All right, guys, moving on to the Lions versus the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, that was probably the most disturbing injury in football. And there's been a lot of bad ones this year. Do I still have that pic from earlier this week? We showed it. Horrific. You guys seen it, right? He needed to put some meat on his bones, man. He just did, man. He's a very thin quarterback. I thought that the strength and conditioning team of the Commanders would have made an effort to put some meat on his bones in his second season. They didn't. And all jokes aside, that's a horrific injury he sustained, Drew. Commanders are a plus 360 underdog. I think it should be even bigger. They should be even bigger under favorite. So Fonzie's got the Lions. Travis in the chat's got the Lions. A lot of Lions. Drew, who do you got in this?
I got the Lions. I think the Commandos are slowly are going to go down, and they're going to probably get a top 5 pick. I think it's going to get to a point that they're going to shut Jaden Daniels down, and in my opinion, I think they should have went and became sellers a little bit, and stack up on draft picks, because this team is not good enough defensively and offense. They're not good enough defensively. And you don't got Jaden Daniels, you don't got Terry McLaurin and everything. You're basically you don't have nothing to offer now. Your defense is older. It's worse. Like I predicted it was going to be. And it's just the only thing that I was wrong about is I thought they were going to take a little step back and be 10-7. They're not even going to be 10-7. They're not even going to be over 500.
Could very well be. Coming up at 125. By the way, next week, guys, I'm going to just make this announcement. Next week, I didn't even tell Vince either or you, Drew, but my father-in-law is coming in from Reno, Nevada area, and he's going to be spending the earlier part of the week with us. He's coming in Sunday driving. It's a long drive. So he is staying very close to us. So I'm not sure where I'm going to watch this game, but it's going to definitely affect our Monday, our regular schedule next week. So I will be posting it in the community. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. A lot to talk about sports-wise next week, boxing and football. So please follow along so you can see my community posts, Drew. But LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. This is so sad. I got to show you this injury report, Drew. By the way, shout out to Travis. He said, just wait until the playoffs. Darnold will fold. Well, he definitely folded last year. Shout out to my boy Speech, who's a big Vikings fan. He could agree with you on that. But this is the injury list for the San Francisco 49ers, Drew, as of Thursday. Absolutely awful. We lost, it looks like, 3 additional defensive players. Alfred Collins, Kalia Davis. Bryce Huff is already out. He was your former Philadelphia Eagles, right? It's bad. It is pretty bad. Look at this long list. Superstar Puka Nacua. He's limited participation. If he's out of the game, I don't think it matters with this second string defensive team we have with the San Francisco 49ers, Drew. It's a hot mess, man. For the first time in a long time. I'm looking at it here. Paul's got the Niners. Travis has got the Rams.
I think you guys are going into the tough stretch of your schedule, and I'm really going to go with the Rams on this. I think the Niners are going to start folding. I think the injuries are finally going to take its toll on this team. Like I still think they should have somewhat became sellers at the deadline.
They should have, the trade deadline was vicious.
I just don't think that they have the pieces to win a championship. They just, even with Bosa back,
none of those guys are coming back. Those are all serious injuries. New York Giants, the game. Mikael Williams was the number 1 draft pick for the San Francisco 49ers. He was having a pretty stellar season as a rookie. He's out with a torn ACL. Paul Martinez says, I have faith. That's right. I'm not having faith. I gotta go with the Rams, but I always pick the Niners. But this one's gonna be tough. We have beat them this year. We did just come off and beat the Giants, but the Giants are nowhere near the type of offense that the Rams have. Do you think Nacua plays?
Yeah. And I look at it like this. John Lynch didn't do nothing, and that's why I said they were one of the losers at the deadline.
Well, Drew, from what I read, they did make a concerted effort to get Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals, but they wanted a lot of money, and the Niners just weren't willing to pay. And that's one of those reasons why I give the flowers to Los Angeles Dodgers, man. To make a championship team, you got to be willing to spend.
Well, they wanted. Well, here's the thing: they wanted a first-round pick, or they wanted a combination of 2 second-round picks. They wanted at least a first-round pick for them, but it means you take them, you're going to have to re-sign them, and the Niners don't have the money. I think the flexibility to sign somebody to another big contract, and I looked at it. I'm like, nah. If they don't intend to re-sign the dude, they shouldn't do the trade.
Which is what they did. They did nothing. They did nothing.
Yeah, and that's why I was talking to a couple people about this, Steve, and they asked me if I was the Niners GM, and what would I do? What is my plan? How do I attack the trade deadline? Do I stay put? or do I evaluate my roster to see if even with the guys that are not injured on this team, if they were on the team already, would I have a chance to contend? And I looked at your whole roster, Dave. I have.
Well,
I looked at it.
Thank you.
I said health, and like when the team's fully healthy, and I look at it, I'm like, no, they're not. I don't think they are. They are a borderline playoff team, but I don't think they are a serious contender. I think there's still holes on this team, defensively and offensively, to say that this team is a Super Bowl contender. That being said, I think the window's closed for the Niners as a Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, that's not a bold take. It's not a bold take.
Like, I would have, if I was the GM, I would have became somewhat seller at the deadline. I would try to get my ass out of that fucking IU contract. I will get out of I will trade Christian McCaffrey. I would really Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings don't want to be there. I would see what I can get for Juwan Jennings. The object is you need to stack up on picks. It's time to stack up on picks. And I think it's time to figure out how do we build this team and go from there. You got your centerpiece of your defense in Nick Bosa when he's healthy.
Next year.
You don't know how much longer you're going to have Trent Williams for. He's getting up there in age. So
you think Warner's kind of on his way out after this injury? You think he's got some good years left?
Trent Williams?
Fred Warner.
Oh, Fred Warner? Oh, man. Fred, that's a question mark. You know, we don't even know how he's going to come back from this injury.
We don't know. You know, he's older. He's much older than Bosa, but he's had an incredible career. He's played almost every game. Only missed one game in his entire career before this torn ACL.
Like you got Bryce Huff.
Hamstring. He's out with a hamstring, so I got faith he might be back for the later part of the season.
So I think we need to. I think if I was rebuilding the Niners, I'm starting with the offensive line because I got a $250-some quarterback. So I have to make good of my investment. So I'm going to have to get that offensive line in check for him. Then the second thing I got to do, I want to go to the defense. I want to invest in some defensive tackles and everything. I also want to try to invest in the linebacking core.
Yeah, I agree with you.
On my secondary. If I can keep Fred Warren and everything, fuck it. I'll work on my secondary and my corners. If I can get one good corner, one good safety to start off with, that's good. And then, but the thing about it is, I will go and draft offensive lineman, wide receiver. I will go from there. And these types of rebuilds can take up to 3 or 4 years to do, depending on who you have. But you got a lineup that you can have this team rebuild in the 2 years. If you draft right, if you do make your good free agent signings and everything, they could be rebuilt in 2 years. And
I agree with that, Drew. This is a tough game, guys. You saw the NFC West standings. Rams have tons of weapons. This to me is going to be the hardest game for a minute. Okay, Drew. Let me give you a couple of games the rest of the season. Niners beat the Cardinals, and then they beat the Panthers, in my opinion. They beat the Browns. They beat the Titans. They lose to the Colts. Could lose to the Bears. That's going to be, and they could lose to the Seahawks or will lose to the Seahawks. That's the stretch for the 49ers. Which one of those games do you think they definitely lose? Cardinals, win or lose?
I'm going to lose. I think
Shit,
they lose. I know. No,
Who's the other play this week?
I think they blow an egg in Arizona.
I'll just be again. I think they lose to the Colts, potentially the Bears and the Seahawks. So
look at it like this: too many missing pieces on that offensive line. The defensive line of the Cardinals is sneaky good. Can be sneaky good. Can get to the quarterback. So depending on who's quarterbacking, and if you guys can't stick Marvin Harrison Jr., that's an issue too. So I'm going to say Cardinals in a very close game. They win that. They lose that game. The Niners in a close game.
Shout out to the Bird Gang out there.
Now Carolina, it depends where the game's at. If it's in Carolina, I'm going Carolina. If it's in San Fran, I'm picking San Fran. I think they're definitely losing to the Seahawks. They should have lost to them in the week 1. The Colts, yeah, I think they lose to the Colts. I think even though the Colts have gotten better with Sauce Gardner on defense, but I think they gave up too much. You never give 2 first-round picks up for a defensive back.
You're talking about Gardner, Sauce Gardner.
Yeah. So they lose to them. I think depend on where the game is with Chicago, I think they lose to Chicago.
Would that be something if Jake Moody makes a kick for the Bears that beat the Niners? That would be fucking hilarious. That would be not hilarious, but that would be pretty bad.
So hold on. What are they now? 6-3?
6-3.
So what's the next 5 games again?
All right, the next 5 games are going to be, by the way, guys, we only have 2 more games. I appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like, stay tuned, and make sure you give us your picks for the last 2 games. Drew, they're going to play the Cardinals, Panthers, Browns,
all right, hold on.
Titans.
All right, we're going to do it like this. Cardinals, that's an L. So they're 6-4. Now, what's the next game after that?
Panthers.
Where's the game at?
Well, you said you picked the Rams to win, right? So they're going to be 6-4 if you.
I picked them. All right, they'll be 6-5.
They'll be 6-5 after playing the Cardinals loss. Okay, they're gonna lose 2 in a row. Then they play the Panthers.
Where's the game at?
Ah, shoot it, don't say. That's November 24th. That's Thanksgiving. Maybe that's a Thanksgiving game.
All right, let's pursue it in Carolina. They're 6-6. Now,
then they play the Browns November 30th.
That's a win. They're 7-6.
Titans.
They're 8-6.
They're gonna get a bye week. They're going to finally get 2 weeks off, and maybe then Purdy will be full blast. Then they play the Colts a couple days before Christmas.
They're 8-7.
That's a lousy season. Bears.
They're 8-8.
And then finally the Seahawks. They have a losing season.
8-9. So I got them finishing 8-9.
Hey, I appreciate everybody, guys. We have 2 more games here. Let's move on. Steelers versus the Chargers. Who's still with us here? Steelers versus the Chargers. Shout out to Fonzie. The Chargers are looking so much better. I got and I don't have faith in the Steelers anymore. They let me down the other day, Drew. I'm picking the Chargers. The Chargers are a negative 125 favorite. The spread is only -1.5 points. Underdogs. Oh, my bad. I'm giving you guys the wrong. Steelers versus Chargers. Chargers are a negative 155 favorite. Underdog, Steelers plus 130.
Where's the game at?
Who in the chat knows where this game is at? Fonzie, do you know where the game is at? Go ahead and put my name here. I got Chargers. 702's got Chargers. Paul's got the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers. Fonzie's got the Chargers. Let me Google that real quick before I give you this pick.
Let's see. We'll find this out right now. DraftKings. I made a parlay out already.
This is the afternoon game, guys. Pittsburgh Steelers 5-3, Chargers. It should be pretty competitive. How come you can't find it right away where the hell this game is at? All right, I appreciate that. Man Cave got it, man. It's at SoFi Stadium. SoFi Stadium, that's a big deal. That's important.
So let me see. Did I pick this game? I Did not pick that game. I'm going Chargers. But you know what, man? I'm going to be honest. Let's be honest about this Chargers team, man. This Chargers team is a mystery still.
6-3. They're like the 49ers, Drew. I mean, you could be telling me that they could be just like the Niners. They're 6-3, just like the Niners. But nah, I got faith in them. They got our old Coach Harbaugh, Herbert. I think they definitely are making the AFC playoffs. They're making the playoffs.
No, they're making the playoffs, but I'm just saying that they're still a mystery. You know, you don't know, like, they should beat them and then they lose to that team and everything. That's the type of shit that's the Chargers that we look at. So,
well, this brings us to Monday Night Football, November the 10th. This is all you, Drew. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers. You guys are the small favorite at plus 110 on the money line. The spread is plus 2.5. Green Bay Packers, a lot of people are like, man, Green Bay Packers think the Packers are a top 10 team. I don't even think they belong anywhere in the top 5, but people do have them in their power rankings quite high. Let me see where they got them.
When I betted on this game, the Eagles were the underdog.
When you betted they're the underdog?
Yeah.
Why? Why, guys?
Because the game's in Lambeau.
Is it going to be cold?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think the Eagles are going to win by at least 17 points. Let's look at it like this. Their offense, like, it's not a scary offense. It should be, but they're not really have like they don't have that significant identity of what they are. And like they'll be in the red zone. They were in the red zone against the Panthers 5 times. And they didn't score. They did not score, Dave. They were stopped 5 times by the Panthers.
Yeah, I think Jordan Love made quite a bit of mistakes last week. And in fact, they even missed field goals, a 43-yard field goal attempt. I think when it comes down to it, I don't think they're going to beat your team, Drew. But let's see. Again, they have it pretty close. Green Bay is still favored. Green Bay is favored. Green Bay is favored. Negative 130.
And like we just got the pieces. We got Jalen Phillips. I think that was an awesome pickup. And we got everybody's healthy now. You know,
the kid on that trade, I saw an interview with the kid. What's his name again?
Jalen Phillips.
He said it's the best thing. He said it was the best thing that happened to him in his life. He must have not liked where he was playing.
I think with the history that he had, like tearing his ACL, tearing his Achilles and everything, he was striving in when Fangio was there and everything. And then see what was going on. It wasn't fun for him after that. So a young player doesn't know what the plans are of this team's long term and everything, and they look at him and say, "Yo, you're getting traded." And he find out who he's getting traded to. He's happy because he's going into a winning situation. He's playing for a playoff team. They're from the defending world champions, and they're still as good as they was. So to add to that, he knows that, hey, I'm back with Vic Fangio and everything. He thrived in the system. So I think it's now he knows he can put the work in and get paid at the end of the year. But I think that this kid, he's Hassan Reddick 2.0, but he can do a couple of things Hassan Reddick can't do. He could play the run and the pass. Hassan Reddick wasn't good against the run. He was only good against the pass. This kid can play the run. You can line this kid up on the D line, on the center of the D line, going after the center. You can line him up anywhere. You can line him up like Dallas used to use Michael Fitzpatrick. Michael Parsons and everything. You can do that, and he's 6'6".
It's a
That ball
big kid. Big kid.
I saw this kid's highlights. He does the signature Reggie White move to get past somebody with his arm. When he throws that arm over there, and he has success, he's quick. And I think he's going to be a major problem against with a defensive line as good as the Eagles is and has gotten better. The Eagles' defense's probably rankings are going to go up.
We'll see, guys. That's all the games. Let's run through them really quickly again, guys. NFL Week 10, Drew. Today's game, pretty close, competitive, man, surprisingly. But Atlanta versus Indianapolis Colts. Drew, who do you had?
I'm going with the Colts.
All right, New York Giants versus Chicago.
Chicago.
Buffalo Bills versus Miami.
Buffalo. I look at it like this. I understand Miami's things. I was talking to somebody about Miami today.
Yeah.
And we don't understand why they were losers at the deadline. Because this is where you could have stacked up on some picks and start building this team in the draft.
The coach gets fired at the end of the year?
Yeah, but they don't even know if they're gonna release Tua Tagovailoa, Tua next year. They're probably release him, but you could have got rid of Bradley Chubb's contract, got out of that contract, and got like a 6 for him. You could have traded Jalen Waddle and got a high pick for him. It was another bad thing for the Dolphins is to sit tight and trade Jalen Phillips by himself.
True. The rumor is the coach is going to get canned and he's going to come back to San Francisco.
I don't know. He could, but I'll look at it like this. I don't know. I just don't see how he still has a job because it's already there. He lost the locker room.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. That brings us to. I just want to hear your picks really quickly again, Drew. Ravens versus Vikings.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
All right. Lamar Jackson is back. Cleveland Browns versus the Jets.
Cleveland Browns.
All right, Patriots versus the Buccaneers. That's my favorite game at 1:00, Drew, and I'm going with Buccaneers. Who do you got?
I'm going with the Patriots.
Derek May. All right. Hey, I appreciate those likes, guys. And if you like this, we do this every Thursday, and I'll announce the winners next Monday, either both in my community post or on the Shoe Shine Monday night episode, our Monday night show. All right, Drew. New Orleans Saints versus Carolina Panthers.
Carolina.
Jaguars versus the Texans.
Jaguars.
Cardinals Bird Gang versus the Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, okay. Well, I remember these games. Rams versus San Francisco. You picked the Rams.
Rams.
Lions versus the Washington Commanders.
Lions.
And Steelers versus the Chargers.
Chargers.
And I already know Philadelphia, fly Eagles fly, Drew. It was a good show, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to make sure we have all your picks, Drew. I wanted to get your opinion on this because on Monday, we do our boxing show on Mondays. Tomorrow night, if you're a boxing fan, you guys, boxing fans in America are always complaining we don't get nothing. You do get Pro Box. Drew, and Tiger Johnson, he's a pretty serious welterweight prospect contender, Olympic team member. He's going to be on Pro Box TV right here on YouTube. So go join everybody in the chat tomorrow night. He's headlining that. Top Rank is promising to keep their athletes busy, even if they don't have a television deal secured yet. You're going to see that this Friday. Saturday, Virgil Ortiz. Who's your pick, man? Virgil Ortiz or Lubin? Again, I'm going
Virgil by late. I'm going Virgil by stoppage. He should stop him, but I don't know. we gotta see how this goes. This event didn't sell well and everything, so it's gonna be a letdown.
If you're into that, man, Oscar De La Hoya told Boots Ennis, don't show up in today's press conference. He said, don't show up. That's the big rumor, man, that Boots Ennis is going to show up. I think it's the best fight possible for both guys, Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis. They're telling him, don't show up.
Here's the thing. Do you know why he said don't show up?
What's it?
Because
go ahead. I think I heard the whole thing. Yeah.
Because Oscar doesn't want to get proved, does not want to be made an ass out of himself with all the shit that he talked. And Bruce shows up to that fight and everything.
This fight, that fight's going to be so hard to make, Drew.
He's like, yo, sign the fucking contract. You're not the A side.
I don't know if we'll see it. We'll see. I'm going to keep tabs on it. This is going to be a great fight this Saturday night on DAZN, guys. Drew, I got to hear your opinion on this. Clarissa Shields on CBS in the morning with Gail, Oprah Winfrey's friends, to announce she would be the highest paid female boxer with an $8 million 2-year deal. And I don't even know who that was. Part of the deal is with a music company, Win Music. Like, is that related to the Win Casino? Win Music, Salida Promotions. That's $4 million a year, potentially for as little as 4 to 5 fights. How do you feel about that, man? $8 million. $8 million multi-fight contract. Women's boxing deserves equal respect, equal pay, and equal opportunity.
Doesn't Katie Taylor and Serrano make more than that?
Yeah, I don't know. What was the total earnings? You may be right. But she's going around braggadociously saying, now I'm the highest paid female boxer. I believe you were right that Serrano and Katie Taylor may have made more on that Netflix fight. And Paul says a damn good question. Who is Jake Paul going to box? Did you say you heard it was going to be Nate Diaz again?
They're trying to get Nate Diaz. Netflix ain't going for it. Netflix told them that we actually would like you to fight a champion.
I don't blame them. We already saw that fight. We already saw the Nate Diaz fight. I will not be surprised if they don't even fight in December, because look, when Netflix puts their money behind a project, it's got to be a moneymaker. And this Gervonta Tank Davis fight wasn't even selling.
It wasn't. And here's the thing. There's been one name, Jao Okatara.
That's a real fight. Fonzie says, I think Raleigh. Well, I'm Dave in the 702, guys. It's been a pleasure. Come back Monday night, Thursday night. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. Drew, any final thoughts on this week in sports?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Bang, bang, Niner gang. We will see you guys on Monday night. Until then, peace out.